Not sure how well that's going to work. We'll see. I know that you can plant certain things together, like lettuce and carrots go well together, because while you're picking lettuce, your carrots are thriving. And you can also put radishes in those same beds, or you can put radishes in with carrots. And when you harvest the radish, for example, that are with carrots, you're kind of loosening up the soil, which also helps for the carrots. And something else about radish is that they also offer up nitrogen to soil. So if you let those radishes go, and I know this has been something that's been discussed for some farms, and they do that, that radish will actually start giving off nitrogen to the fields. Over here, more carrots, by the way. Some of the carrots are so small they were blown out of my hand when I was planting, so we do have some rogue carrots in places. More Brussels sprouts, and you can see these plants are really thriving right here. So we'll see. I'm hoping we get some out of there. And then this row, all the way to the end, are all tomatoes. So we have Brandywine tomatoes and we have Roma tomatoes, and these things just took off, and we're a little behind our tomatoes ripening right now, because again, Sandhill cranes, they actually went after my seeds and my little seedlings that I had planted. So I ended up having to replant them a couple times, and I don't like to go buy tomato plants per se. I'd rather start them from seed, and if you look at the cost of that, there's a huge difference. And especially if I'm going to sell tomatoes, buying the plants, that actually increases your price. So hopefully this year, before the end of the season, I'll get a kind of a hoop house put up so I can start them earlier in the year and have a good place to get them going. We'll see. Over here, this is what I call the superfood row. Kale. I've been selling it at the Poinet Farmers Market, and I got to tell you, some people, they just don't know what to do with it. But the thing is kale is really good for you. And one of my favorite dishes this year was with spicy Italian sausage, chopped kale that's been blanched and shocked, and then finished with garlic and lemon juice and lemon zest, and a little bit of fennel. Oh my god, that is like it is a burst of flavor when you eat that. And on top of all that, that kale is really good for you. Then we get over here and we have beets, and this was another area that was being attacked, so I had to replant these guys a couple times, but they seem to have done well. If you look here closely, got a nice looking beet down there coming in. Let's see if you can see that. I don't know. So we'll have some beets coming out. And then the other thing I did was more sunflowers. Look at these guys. I mean, seriously, we were joking. This is the NBA team. The Keyhole Garden was the college team. And then up at the permaculture garden, that was the high school team. It's just incredible how well these things are doing. So continuing down the superfood row, and by the way, beets also are extremely good for you. They're really great for your heart. And then over here we have Swiss chard. I've always grown Swiss chard. It really does well, it seems like, in our soil. And another superfood. And they're a little less, how do I say it? A little less texture than the kale. But they are definitely a great green to eat. I cut them up, saute them with some olive oil and some garlic. I also like to sneak a little honey in there and a little Dijon mustard. It seems like that's my favorite thing to do with a lot of my dishes. But this is definitely a great food that good for your body all the way around. And you can see a nice looking basil plant here. This guy, we have a couple of these. Well, actually, I think we have about 6 of them, and we planted them all with the tomatoes. Basil and tomatoes do well together, and so we did it. And so looking forward to that. This one over here is my peppers. I don't know, we'll see. I've got some growing, yay. We'll see how they do. You know, throughout the summer it didn't seem like they were taking off well, but they seem to be doing better, so I'm looking forward to getting these. And these are the red bells, so that should be some more tasty stuff coming out of the garden, I hope. We'll see. And then this row are my leeks, and the leeks are one of my favorites. I think leeks are something that more people should eat more of. First of all, they're in the alum family, but they are not as strong as an onion, but they offer a lot of great flavor. Buttery poached leeks are unbelievable. And I like to serve them with a lot of different dishes, so they're really good. So I'm looking forward to that. We planted some squash, but I don't know, that was old seeds, and so next year I'm not going to be using old seeds like that, but it's okay. That's part of the learning experience, you know. Some things work, some things don't. Some of the things I originally planted never showed up, but that, you know, that's all part of staying you know, on top of it and saying, okay, that's not working, what do we do next? And then down here you'll see a cattle tank. And what I did with that was we had gotten in some horse manure, but it was still hot. That means it's fresh, if you're wondering. And in there I took and put an old sheet, and then I took a bucket load of the manure and put it in the sheet and tied it off. And then I filled it with water and let it sit for a good 3-4 weeks. And then I just started bucketing it out of there and feeding my plants some of this manure tea, is what it would be called. And what's great about that is, you know, horses, they don't digest seeds well. Cattle don't either, actually. And it actually just comes back out in their horse apples and stuff. But because this is wrapped in a sheet, none of that was coming out, so we weren't adding more weeds to our garden when we did that. Yeah, that's Miso. He likes to come and help us. So one of our favorite things to do is around, I don't know, 5-6 o'clock in the evening, we would come out here and we'd pull weeds. And it wasn't pulling the weeds that was our favorite, no. We'd enjoy a glass of wine or two while we were pulling weeds. When people ask about a garden like this, I explain that this is actually my therapy. It's my happy place. It's where I get to watch these tiny little seeds grow into something that I get to eat or sell, and it's absolutely amazing to me. So yeah, it took a lot of work this year. We went through days and days of really hot days out here pulling weeds, planting, rototilling, or not rototilling, but cultivating, and tying up tomato plants and getting cucumbers trestled. We wouldn't trade anything for it, because I mean, the view out here is incredible. I get to most evenings watch the sunset while we're working and harvesting food, and it's really something that I think I enjoy. I know some people think I'm nuts, but it's something I do, and Sarah loves it too. So we get out here and we do that quite a bit. And like I said, the fun part is when you get to harvest it and you're eating your own food that you grew, or when you get to share it with other people as well, meaning when we sell it, or, you know, sometimes we give stuff away too, because this garden isn't going to make us rich. It's going to make us rich in life, because it provides a lot of food for the house, and it also offers us an opportunity to network with other farmers, which is something I wanted to bring up before I end this video. I can't help but think of a phrase that I've heard over the years many times, and in these times where we seem to, I don't know, argue about politics and everything else that's going on, I would encourage all of you to think about this phrase: work on being the best version of yourself. I think that's more important than pointing fingers and all the other stuff that's going on in this world. I think if we start doing that, and the best version of yourself should, I would hope, be positive affirmation for yourself and for others. We have a world where people are being bombed, under a constant threat of being attacked, And you know, their world, they don't get these opportunities to try and do some good. I think it's important. I think that even in a rural area like this, for me anyways, I find things that will try and bring joy, happiness, and at the same time try to educate people. And by educate, I'm not talking about educating you about politics or any of that nonsense. I'm talking about when I do something out here at Gray Woods Farm, I want you to say, oh, I never thought about that. I'm going to give that a try. Or we exchange ideas. You know, have you ever thought about doing this? Or, you know, you ought to maybe think about this. It worked for me. I think those are good things. I think those are the kinds of exchanges I think are important. You know, I also think of another phrase, I am my brother's keeper. You know, when I grow food, if I know someone that is, you know, not doing well in life and things are tough, I'd easily give them something out of my garden. And I think that's the kind of thing that I'm striving to do, be a better version of myself. So anyways, that's the update. Thanks for watching, and as we get closer to really harvesting, maybe I'll share some of those as well. So have a great day, and I hope you enjoy this video, and if you do, please like and subscribe. Thank you. I can't talk today.